The Bible says, above all else, guard your heart, for it determines the course of your life. That's an order. Guard your heart. Why? The direction that you're gonna go depends on what you allow in your heart. Saying yes and doing things that don't align with the season that we're in will end up costing you. Boundaries is what helps you protect what God has entrusted you with. Welcome back to Brewing Better, everybody. I'm your host, Noor Saavedra. I am so glad that you are joining me here today and are ready to be on this journey of being better, mind, body, soul, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. We are doing all the things to be better for us and the people around us. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now so that you can be up to date with all the new videos, episodes that are coming out. And please send this to somebody else as well so that they can be on this journey with us. Before we begin, like always, let's set the tone, the atmosphere for this episode. We need a little drink to, romanticize our life, appreciate all the things that God has given us. And for me today, that special drink is water. I can blame it on all the things, but I need to take responsibility and I need to drink my water. Drink your water. Your skin, your body, and everything else will thank you. The holidays are so close, so I hope that you are enjoying the pumpkin patches, the change of scenery, all of the above. I live for these moments, so I'm very excited. Take all the pictures. Doesn't matter how old you are. You could be young, old, kids, no kids. It doesn't matter. Take the pictures because there will be a day that you will be so grateful for the memories and the pictures that you have to show for them. This is from a girl who has recently, in the last few years, started documenting her life. But before that, I am the type of person that I am horrible with my friends. I will be so in the moment that I will forget to take pictures, and it makes me sad that I don't have so many pictures of my friends because literally I just haven't thought about it. But take the pictures. Of course, we want to live in the moment, but the picture allows us to go back to those moments and appreciate them and just enjoy them all over again. Side note, I have been the type of person that will forget about all the good things that God has done. I can be that person at times. And if you're anything like me, there can be moments where you feel like nothing's going right. I don't have anything to show for my life, but when you have things to look back on, pictures, videos, memories, that helps you come back to earth and like, okay, no, God, you were really good and I see you all throughout this year and really all throughout my life because me, just to put myself on blast again, I can have tunnel vision. I can just see things right now, not before, not in the past, not in the future, and just to focus on right now what's in front of me. And that can be my unfortunate demise because I can get in my head. But it's things like pictures and things like that that get me out of my head and back to solid ground. So just take the picture. Enjoy the moments. Last week's episode was all about letting go, and there are still things that I want to revisit, specifically when it comes to boundaries, because when we have people in our life or when we are in different seasons, when we don't have boundaries, we end up hurting ourselves more than we could really realize. And so let's get into this week's episode. This is something that I really want to debunk, okay? As Christians, we can have this misconception that boundaries feel cold and uninviting. Like we only have the love of Jesus when we allow people to walk all over us, which, my friend, is farthest from the truth. If you or maybe someone you know thinks like that or believes that about boundaries, I want to help you set yourself free from that mindset, okay? Because God himself loves boundaries. He created boundaries. He honors boundaries. Love without boundaries turns into chaos very quickly. That means he's not a God of confusion or chaos. And those are not things he wants for us. Let me go just a little bit deeper, okay? Let's go to the first book of the Bible in Genesis. The Bible says that God separated light from darkness, day from night, water from land. Those are all boundaries. Those are things that he set in place so that they could operate the way that they were intended to and they could flourish the way that he designed them to. He wanted things to have structure. Now let's go to the last book in the Bible. In Revelations, it says, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock." He doesn't barge in. He waits at the door for us to open it. He gives us free will. He doesn't force us or coerce us or try to convince us to serve him or worship him. That's not what he desires. So if God himself can implement and respect boundaries, our boundaries as individuals, as our own people, why do we feel guilty for setting boundaries with other people? The answer is we shouldn't. We should not feel guilty for setting a boundary. Boundaries are there to protect us and to protect those around us. They're how we're able to operate the way that he's designed for us and the season that he's designed for us. Knowing the season that you are in is extremely important. When you learn to set boundaries, you're not being mean, you're not being cold, you're being wise. You're saying, I know what God's called me to do. I know the season I'm in, and I'm protecting that. A lot of times when we think about stewards and being a good steward, we think about it with money, with talent, with things that might be a little bit more tangible. But God also calls us to be good stewards of our time, of our energy, and of our peace. He wants us to manage all those things wisely. When you say yes to everyone, or when you allow certain people to continue to talk, gossip, bring you down over and over again, you are not able to operate the way that you were intended to. You're not able to be effective. You cannot say yes to everyone. You cannot meet everyone's needs. I know at times we want to. I know we want to say yes to everything, especially in the beginning. As Christians, we want to serve. We want to do the things that help people. But saying yes and doing things that don't align with the season that we're in will end up costing you. It can cost you your peace, time with your family, or just a lack of focus. Boundaries is what helps you protect what God has entrusted you with. This season, I know that I am a mom of littles, okay? That's the season I'm in. So that means they are my priority. I have to think about the things that I do on the nights that my daughter goes to school. So many times that means missing something. A lot of times I have to say no to things on weeknights because I have to get my daughter to bed. And you're wondering why, but she'll get up, she'll adjust. Let's think about it a little bit more. If I was to be carefree with the weeknights and let my daughter go to sleep late, frequently, we go out, we do whatever we need to. She goes to bed around 10, 11 o'clock when we do. And then I have to wake her up at 7 in the morning. She's going to be mad. She's going to be frustrated. She's going to be very cranky, as she should be. She hasn't had her full night's sleep. I would be too. Kids need 11 to 12 hours of sleep a night. If I consistently plan things on the weeknight, all of a sudden, there's this cycle that's created. She's cranky, we have a bad morning, sets the bad tone for the day for her, for me. We're arguing, we're going back and forth. That now she's going to school tired, where she's not going to be able to take in all the information, where she's not going to give her full effort because she's tired. So who does that benefit? Absolutely nobody. Her teacher's frustrated, I'm frustrated, she's frustrated. And now I have to work on possibly repairing whatever happened during the morning, spending my energy there rather than building or doing something together. Do you see where I'm going with this? But if I would just simply respect the boundaries of weeknights, of course, there's going to be things that come in that are going to be an exception. That's going to happen. Of course it is. But on a consistent basis, my responsibility is to make sure my kids are ready to go for the next day. It's far easier and so much more peaceful when I can respect the boundaries of the weeknight, that they are meant for caring and tending to my daughters and making sure that bedtime goes good so that they are prepared and ready for their day. That's such a small, simple scale of a boundary. But knowing the season you're in is key so that you can create boundaries effectively. And yes, this does apply to boundaries with people too. I love that the Bible talks about how Jesus would talk to the masses. He would talk to the 12 and he would talk to the 3. He would have different conversations, but there was things that he would say only to the 3, James, Peter, and John, but not to the 12 disciples. He didn't give everyone the same level of access to him. He even took time alone, away from everybody. That wasn't selfish. That was part of his calling. He needed to align his heart, and that's okay. And that's what we want to emulate. That's how we are able to guard our heart. The Bible says, above all else, guard your heart, for it determines the course of your life. That's an order. Above all else, guard your heart. Why? Because it determines the course of your life. The direction that you're going to go depends on what you allow in your heart. I don't know about you, but that sounds crazy to me. Like, that's something that I need to listen up, pay attention to, and actually execute. And it's no one else's responsibility to guard our heart. It's our own responsibility. Saying yes to everyone, allowing everybody to do as they please, come and go and say what they want to say, all those things affect our heart. Protecting your heart is not pride, it's obedience. It's allowing you to love people from a place of peace and a healthy place, not from a resentful one. And sometimes that means distance, and that is okay. When I was younger, I would always say, I feel like my relationship with my mom is better when we are not living together. Our relationship has definitely improved tenfold, thank God. I was a hard-headed, stubborn teenager, early 20s, and she was set in her ways too. But we needed to learn each other's boundaries. We needed to learn how to respect one another, how to honor one another, so that we could have a healthy relationship. And the distance did help. A lot of times we're not able to grow when we are stuck in so close to a situation. We're not. We need to separate ourselves to be able to see things from a bird's eye view. When we're in constant arguments and bickering and all of that, when we're in situations like that, we just see our hurt, we just see our frustration, we just see our side, and it's a never-ending cycle. But when we take a bird's eye view, when we lift up and get out of the situation, create distance, we can see things a lot clearer. We can see okay, God, all these things kind of point to what you were trying to tell me. And I couldn't really see it in the moment, but I see it now. So when someone continuously oversteps, taking you away from the season that you are supposed to be in and enjoying, ignoring your no, it's okay to say things like, hey, I love you, but I can't be available right now. I value your friendship, but I need to protect my peace in this season. I want to show up for you, but I'm just not able to right now. That's not rejection. That's being a good steward of your time, your energy, your peace in your season. It's wisdom. Of course, there will be people that will not understand. They won't. But that is not our problem. From a chronic people pleaser, let me tell you, that is not our problem. Because when we constantly allow people to overstep our boundaries, that is not love. That's enabling. We are not responsible for everyone's emotions. We are responsible for our own. Galatians 6:5 says each one should carry their own load. You don't have to worry about your friends, your family members. Worry about your load. You're not responsible for everyone's expectations. Boundaries are how you are able to succeed in your season, to have a season that reflects His goodness. Don't you want to, in every season of your life, the season begins and the season ends, right? We talked about that last week, which is both beautiful and sad sometimes at the same time. Like for me, I won't always be a mom of littles, which is crazy, but I won't. But boundaries is how I'm able to steward this season, enjoy it, be present, and not have regrets. There are so many people that I know and that I talk to just being with my kids at the park, at Disneyland, doesn't matter. And they'll stop me and say oh, I wish my kids were little again. Or someone saying, I wish I would have done this more with my kids. You don't want to wish for something. That's not an opportunity anymore because you didn't take the time and steward your energy, your peace when you were supposed to. Because then it's too late. We don't like hearing things like that. We are often fed this idea that we'll have time. And though, yes, there is time. God redeems time. He does all those things. But some things can be missed. And some seasons can come and go without us truly being able to enjoy them or take advantage of them the way that we were intended to. I want you to ask yourself now, how am I overextending myself? Am I ignoring the limits that God is asking me to honor? Because we can still love God's people and have clear boundaries. You can still serve and say no. Those things can go together. You can still be kind and protect your peace. So please remember that boundaries are not unholy. They are very godly. And if we are made to be in His image, They are made for us to implement. It's how we are able to honor what God has given. It's how we are able to steward the season that we are in. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Brewing Better. I hope that you are encouraged and feel challenged to create boundaries that will help you in this season of your life. If there's a boundary that you're already looking forward to set, go ahead and drop it in the comments below. And I am so grateful for each and every one of you. And I can't wait to be back with you here again next week. Have a great week, guys.